Hey muñecas, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all my full coverage foundation routine. But not just any full coverage foundation routine. This is for dry skin, super dry skin. For those of you that know me, my skin is as dry as the sand. Trust and believe it is. Like, I don't get any oils on my face at all. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, in order for me to see oil on my face, I have to go to the gym and work my butt off. Like, that's how dry my skin is. So because of that, I've always been afraid of using full coverage foundations because I do feel that they tend to crack up your skin and they look like a cake on my face. And I don't like that look. Like, I don't like to look like a cake face. It doesn't look natural. It just does not look pretty on me. But I have found a way to be able to use a full coverage foundation and get my face beat and not be able to see anything underneath my skin while still making it look fresh, looking my skin, not dry, not cracking up, and you already know the deal. So if you guys want to see my tips and tricks and also the products that I use to get my face super full coverage without looking dry, then you're in the right video. But before we go into the tutorial, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell while you're at it so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And while you're at it, just give me a thumbs up as well because we need it over here. Alright, so without any further ado, let's go into my full coverage foundation routine for super extra dry skin. The very first thing that I do and that we should all do when it comes to makeup application, especially when it comes to the face, is hydrate your skin, moisturize it as much as you can, especially if you have dry skin like I do. I already put this on my face, just my regular routine after I washed it. Fresh Lotus Youth Preserve face cream. I have been using this for a couple of weeks now and I really like it. Even though I use my regular moisturizer, I have been enjoying this oil also on my face. Any type of oil that works for you. This is the Pixi Skin Treats Rose Blend Oil, and I really have been enjoying this one. But whatever oil you like, I usually apply like 2 little drops, not too much, and just pat it into the skin. Don't overdo it. It doesn't matter how dry your skin is. Don't overdo it because oils can make your foundation slip away, so you don't want that either. So 1 to 2 little drops is more than enough to apply. So that was my moisturizing routine, and I would really do that with any foundation, to be honest, especially if you're going to go in with a very full coverage foundation. Then make sure that you take that extra 1 or 2 steps to really moisturize your skin. So now that that oil is sinking in, I'm gonna go in with this Rose Glow Mist, also from Pixi Beauty, and I'm gonna spray my face just a tad, and I'm gonna, again, that might seem like a lot of steps, but trust and believe, I need it. If you have really dry skin, you really need to take those additional steps to make sure that your skin is very nice and moisturized, so that when you apply the foundation, it doesn't look all cakey. And I know that that might be a lot of steps for you guys already, but I do take one more step. I do like to prime my skin, and whenever I go in with a primer, I want something that really hydrates my skin. It's just an extra, like, you know, water for my skin. And one that I really like, and it's very affordable, is this one by Joa Beauty. It's called the Selfie Ready, and it's just like a little cream. I don't know if you guys can see that there. So it's basically just like another moisturizer. So my skin is now really hydrated, really prepped for makeup. This looks nice even with no foundation, to be honest with you. Like, my skin is looking glowy, healthy, but not like super shiny. It's just a natural glow, and I love that. Right before I go into the foundation, I go in with a little bit of corrector. This one is the Erase Paste from Benefit, which I keep using, and I know it says continue, but they do have the brightening concealer, which is pretty much the same. They just renamed it and maybe changed the formula a tad, but it's very similar. Of course, you don't have to take this extra step if you don't have dark circles, but my dark circles are very dark, so I have to do that. I really do. So now that I corrected my under eyes, we're gonna go in with a foundation, and of course, if we're going to be doing a full coverage base, we need a full coverage foundation. The one that I'll be using today is the new Face Tape foundation from Tarte. I have a full review of this foundation, so if you want to see that, I will leave it linked in the description box so that you guys don't miss it. I'm gonna put some of the foundation in this little plate here that I use as a palette basically, and I'm gonna take it from there. If your skin is super dry like mine, one thing that I noticed that makes a huge difference on the application of my foundation is whether I use a brush or a sponge. Whenever I use a brush, even if it's like the best brush in the world, I feel that the face doesn't look as glowy because of course your beauty blender or your beauty sponge, it pretty much gives you an additional boost of hydration. I am going to be using this one today. This is from Venus. I will leave it linked in the description box as well. I'm pretty bad at doing that, I know. And whenever I'm going to be using a full coverage foundation like this one, I like to go in and spray my beauty sponge a little bit one more time using the same hydrating mist that I used before. I like that one. I also like the Mystified from Gerard Cosmetics. Either one of those works very nice. Taking the foundation right from the palette, and we're going to be just stamping it on the face. And make sure that you just stamp it like up and down just like that so that you keep the coverage of the foundation. You can also do this motion like that. Just make sure that you don't drag or pull so that you don't lose the coverage. I really have been enjoying this foundation because if I take the additional steps of really moisturizing my skin and priming it, I feel that it looks full coverage, but yet it still looks like skin, if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't look so crazy, it doesn't look cakey. And one thing that I will also recommend if you have dry skin is that don't go crazy with the foundation. Don't try to like overdo it. Like I know that a lot of people here on social media do it, that they apply like 3-4 pumps of foundation to get full coverage. No matter how good you are, I'm sorry, but that's gonna give you a cake face. It might look good on camera, but I cannot imagine that looking good in real life. And the makeup that I do on me, I'm sorry, but it needs to look good on camera, but also in real life. For photos, you can face tune or you can make it look soft or whatever, but in person, there's no filter that can save you from having a cake face. So no, I'm sorry. I went in with 2 pumps of this foundation, and not for nothing, but that looks pretty damn good to me. Very full coverage. This foundation is a tad darker than me right now, so I do make sure that I bring it down to my neck because I need a tan and I haven't really tan much. Alright, so that is the base right now. It's looking pretty beat already, but it's flat. We need some dimension on the face. To do that and to also correct or cover a little bit more of my dark circles, I am going to be using a full coverage concealer. And this is the Morphe concealer. It's a new one that they have. And it's in the tone C2.35. So I am going to be applying that right underneath the eyes. Like that, and you don't have to apply too much for it to have a lot of coverage. And I'm also going to be using it to highlight the face. So I'm going to put a couple of dots the center of the face, bridge of the nose, and chin area, and Cupid's bow. I first like to start blending the concealer underneath my eyes with my fingers because I feel that I distribute the product better like that while I keep the coverage. As you can see, I was able to cover the entire area with a couple of dots because I used my fingers and I didn't have to use that much product. And then going back with the finger, I'm going to create my little bridge here on the nose and start blending what we have on the face. Taking the same beauty blender, we're going to wet it one more time with the Glow Mist from Pixie. And be very careful, make sure that you do this motion here, this action, so that the product really sinks into the beauty blender. You don't want it to be like just sitting on top because it can move your product otherwise. So now I'm blending that concealer. So as you can see, it's blending super quick because we did the majority of the blending already with my finger. And we were able to maintain the high coverage of the concealer. So now I'm just taking the butt of the beauty sponge to blend out the rest. To set the concealer, I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And I'm going to press the powder underneath my eyes, but I'm not necessarily baking. Just pressing on the powder to make sure that the concealer doesn't move. And with whatever excess of product we have on the beauty blender, I'm going to go in right here because I have like 2 lines here of expression where some foundations like to crease on me. So I'm just setting that, but as you can see, I didn't go in like with like more powder. I'm just using whatever the beauty blender had left. And that's what we have right now. Most of the time I don't set my foundation, but whenever you're looking for a real like full coverage bead and you want to make sure that your foundation doesn't move anywhere, you do want to go in with a very subtle powder that's not going to make you cakey. And the one that I really enjoy for that is the Patrick Star and MAC powder. And I'm going to take just a little bit, like a tiny amount, put it there just so that it can go all over the brush. And I'm going to stamp it on my face so that we can set the foundation, but we're not really mattifying the skin so much. The reason why I didn't use the Laura Mercier powder is because it is a very matte powder, and for my dry skin, that's not like the best. So now that I set the face with powder, I do like to go in with a setting mist one more time, one that is very hydrating. And one that I enjoy for that very much is the hydrating mist from Gerard Cosmetics. So we're gonna give it a shake. And then with a beauty blender, I'm going to go right over that to make sure that it sinks into the skin quickly. You can certainly use the same setting spray as we were using before. The reason why I didn't use the Glow Mist that I was using earlier from Pixie Beauty is because this is more like a pre-makeup spray. However, they do have a makeup fixing mist that you can also use for that. So you know what, I'm going to show you this one as well so you can see. This one is very nice too. So I just drench my skin one more time with more setting spray. So now I'm going to contour the face using the Anastasia Contour Kit. This is the original one. And to be honest with you, I'm not much of a cream contour. I don't know why. I used to be, but now for me, I don't know, it's just much simpler for me to just use powder. Once in a while I do cream, but you know, most of the time I'm gonna go for powder. So for that, I'm gonna be using this shade right here, which is like the middle shade from the palette, with the JH05 brush from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. And here it's very important to go in with a super light hand so that you don't move the foundation underneath. Like you wanna blend, but not like, you know, move any product underneath. And then to contour the nose, I'm going to go in with the lightest shade from the palette. And then I like to go in with my JH02, which is a much larger, much bigger brush and very dirty right now, but it's, I promise you, it's only bronzer. I like to just go over that one more time just to make sure that it's not like too harsh, if you know what I mean. I'm not on that stage anymore. I like my contour to look natural and healthy. And of course I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. One that I love and I've always been obsessed with is Peaches from MAC, and the brush again is going to be a JH04. I paid a lot of money for these brushes, okay, so that's why I'm using them so much now, but they're really nice. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply that again. Make sure that you use a very light hand. You can go in little circular motion, but super light. Like you don't want to go too harsh so that you don't move your foundation around, or you can just do that. I do this motion too. I just like stamp it there. And I like to apply a little bit on my nose. So now that we have the blush and the contour on, I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my face one more time with the Pixie Treats Fixing Mist. And apply just a little bit, not too much, so that everything once again starts melting into the skin and doesn't look dry. And now that the skin is still a little bit wet or moist, it's a very good time for you to go in with your highlighter. Today I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy highlighter with the A8, I think, brush by Anastasia. And I'm just going to pop my highlight on the highest point of my face. Just like so. And a little bit on the tip of the nose and on the bridge. Alright, so this is the final result. As you can see, my skin looks beat. I am flawless, if I may say so myself. No, I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't see anything peeking through my skin. It's super full coverage. I don't have any blemishes right now. However, I do have discoloration like most of us have, and nothing is peeking through. Even a birthmark that I have here and here, you can barely see it. So that's how high coverage I am right now. However, my skin still looks fresh. It doesn't look like I'm cracking up. I don't look dry. I don't look like I have a mask on. So that is my routine. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, that it was helpful to you. If it was, again, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm eating my hair now. Thank you so much for watching. Mil besos, and I see you guys next time. Bye.